Welcome to Petro-Vietnam Gas Joint Stock Corporation, PVGAS. Cutting and welding generate sparks. The potential risks are explosion, eyes damage, burns due to exposure to hot metal, electric shocks, respiratory disease caused by dust, toxic gas, accident. The risks are further worsened when working in confined space, working at height, near flammable or explosive chemical. Therefore, to ensure safety, please keep in mind some important safety instructions for cutting and welding below. To humans, all workers working directly and indirectly must be fully trained in occupational safety and health, firefighting, and be granted certificates in accordance with legal requirements. Welders must be trained and got certificates in welding, cutting, and electricity to be allowed to do this work. All participants must be equipped with personal protective equipment, PPE, including safety hard hat, welding, cutting glasses, coverall, gloves, safety shoes, boots, and other PPE for effective prevention from harmful effects of hazardous factors as prescribed. If the working environment involves contact with chemicals, electromagnetic field, confined space, work at high or toxic gas, workers should be equipped with additional PPE suitable for that special environment. To equipment and working environment. Pipelines and equipment must be cleaned and isolated by standard blind flanges and purged by nitrogen. Flammable gases concentration inside and outside of working area must be monitored during welding, cutting operations. The lower explosive limit is under 5%. Cover working area with flame retardant material and set up warning tape to prevent unauthorized people. Electrical equipment such as welding and cutting machine, electrical jack, air blower must be checked and stamped. Especially, gas cylinders must have valid inspection certificate. Backfire prevention must be installed after pressure reducing valve. Welding machine must be protected by a protective connection with standards to avoid electric shock. Each welding machine must have separate CB. When welding, cutting in confined space, such as tunnels, barrels, closed tanks, it must be cleaned to remove toxic gas and ventilated with fresh air. Arrangements must be made for vacuuming pipeline to ensure flammable gas concentration is under 5% lower explosive limit. Hydrosulfur concentration under 10 ppm and oxygen concentration in the range of 19.5% to 23.5% volume. Zone 0 and Zone 1 are areas with high probability of having presence of flammable gas, has to be applied habitat. Habitat is an enclosed space for hot works, which has an ability to remain higher pressure than outside to block invasion of flammable gases from outside in and guarantee sparks, welding slags created from inner operations. Maintain in a minimum pressure at least 25 Pascal. Monitor pressure inside the habitat by externally mounted barometer. The habitat's wall, roof, floor must be made of flame retardant material. Ventilation system must be marked, for habitat, do not move. Fresh air has to be taken from a safe zone, ensuring to maintain continuously clean air for workers. Hot and toxic air must be blown to outside area. Be provided with sufficient lighting in habitat. Be equipped with powder or foam fire extinguishers inside, and firefighting hoses outside. It is required a fire watcher outside. Exit door has to be clearly marked inside and outside. Habitat windows should be transparent to allow observation. In case of pressure dropped, immediately stop work and check the ceiling joints. Only resume the work after getting approval from authorized person. Before working, it is required to carry out job safety analysis for welding and cutting, and inform to all workers. Apply permit to work according to PVGAS requirements. Check safety conditions before working. During welding and cutting, continuously monitoring gas to ensure its concentration is under 5% LEL. Arrange fire watcher, fire extinguishers right at the working place, corresponding to 1 people for an area about 15 meters. Distance between welding, cutting positions must be not less than 1.5 meters. Finish working. Cut off the electric power of the machine. Lock the gas supply, exhaust all the air in the duct. Clean working area. And close work permit. Prohibitions: working without permit to work. Using self-made equipment, or equipment which insulation protection damaged. grounding equipment through metal structures, technological equipment, pipes that are not welded objects. Using power supply directly from lighting or electric power of the pump. Perform welding in confined spaces that are under pressure or containing flammable and explosive substances. Perform hot work in areas not isolated from flammable and explosive materials. The safety introduction comes to an end. If you have any questions, please contact the safety officer for further guidelines. Thanks for your attention. PVGAS, fueling values to life.